So hello, my name is Otto Tausk. I'm the music director of the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra. And right now I'm joined by Charles Richard-Hamelin from Montreal. He's still in Montreal, but he will come to Vancouver to play the Chopin Piano Concerto #1, but also to give a masterclass at the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra School of Music. Welcome, Charles. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So Chopin is, I can imagine, a big part of your life as a pianist, but also because you were a second prize winner of the Chopin competition in 2015. Could you tell us a little bit about your relationship with Chopin and his music?
Oh well, yeah, it's at the basis of everything in my life. Chopin, even before the competition, it was always my favorite composer when I was growing up. Each year I would learn a new Chopin piece, and it was always my favorite piece. And it's such a complete composer for the piano, really. And of course, the competition, I've been, maybe 75% of everything I've done on stage since the last 7 years have been the music of Chopin. And so every year I still learn more about his music, learn more repertoire. I've played a lot already, but there's still a lot I haven't covered. And of course, the two concertos that I've played so much. I played the second one, the F minor, at the competition. So I played that one quite a bit after the competition, but I also was asked shortly to play the #1 and got to record both of them with the Montreal Symphony a few years ago. So both are at the center of my life, since 7 years. And I'm very excited to be playing it in Vancouver for the first time.
Would you mind sharing some of your ideas on Chopin?
Of course. I mean, my relationship with Chopin started when I was a kid, learning Chopin pieces every year. And always, every year it was always my favorite piece that my teacher would assign to me. And yeah, so I've always felt this strong connection with his music, that goes straight to the heart. It's still extremely well written and perfectly written and very smart and cerebral and technical, but at the heart of it, I think it's very emotional music that speaks to the heart of everyone, not only musicians, which I think is not the case with every composer. And so I've been very lucky since the competition and played Chopin's music all over the world, and a lot of it, and still every year learning new music. And the concertos, of course, every season I get to play many times. I even got to record both concertos with the Montreal Symphony a few years ago. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to play the #1 with you, and for my first time with you guys. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, so we're very excited to have you with us. And I completely agree with you that the music is incredibly well written. Of course, we all know it as well as for all the piano works. And sometimes people say that the way Chopin wrote it, the concertos, wrote them for the orchestra are tricky to do well. And I agree, they're tricky to do well, but they can be done really well. I think if you have a lot of attention for detail, I think if you look for all the colors that he tried to add to the piano music with the orchestra, I think it's extremely interesting. And perhaps the way you interpret his music is key to understanding and as you say also communicating that emotional connection with the music, and still in full respect for the score and the notes played by all musicians. And I think in that respect, it's fantastic music. It's just gorgeous, beautifully music, beautifully written, and very, very wonderful to enjoy. So you will play on Friday and on Saturday with the orchestra, and you're also involved in the masterclass. And I can imagine that. I don't know how big a part teaching is of your life, but I can imagine that coming to another city and meeting students that you don't know beforehand is always an exciting thing to do.
Yes, I mean, teaching has been a part of my life since the competition, really, because early on, after when I got invited to different cities, universities and conservatories would ask for masterclass, and the first few times, being I think I was as young as 26 the first time I gave one, and some doctorate students would be older than me and feeling a bit, out of place teaching right away. But the more I did it, the more I felt comfortable sharing. It's a way to share your passion, just like playing the piano.
Yes.
But it is in a way, it's in a different way, and in a way that's even, in some respects, even deeper, because you can it forces you to explain things that maybe may come naturally to you. And of course, it's a cliche, but the more when you teach, you learn a lot about.
Oh yes, I completely agree with that. Sometimes I teach conducting, although I don't think I know how to explain conducting. I think conducting is still for a large part a mystery to me, actually. But when you try to explain conducting to students, you suddenly realize how many things you never think about, and then thinking about a lot of aspects kind of forces you to make them really clear in your mind and make very deliberate choices as well for yourself. So I find teaching such an inspiring thing to do, and that's and I can imagine that also is for you the case when you work at the piano. Probably many things you do very naturally. And then suddenly a student comes along and has a really good question, and then you have to think, oh yeah, how does that actually work? Why do I do that, and why don't I do something else?
Well, most often it's when I hear a student and it doesn't sound good, then I have to understand why.
Yes.
And then you break it down, and then you try it yourself. And what am I doing? And when I do it, it sounds all right. So what exactly is it might be pedaling, fingering, and so many different things, of course. And also, since the pandemic started, I'm a guest faculty member at the Montreal University. And that's been a great addition to my life to have a masterclass is great, but you don't have a responsibility beyond beyond that class. But with the students that you see, and that you have, you see throughout the whole year, and there's a recital at the end, and so there's a responsibility that comes with that, and that's very enjoyable. And I haven't been this nervous as the last time when I heard my last year the final recital of one student of mine.
Right.
I never was nervous like this, since many years.
Right. And was that live, or was that all online?
Lucky enough, it wasn't during a time where it could be live with mass and everything, but there was a possibility to have a small audience. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, let's hope that stays for now. Well, we're looking forward to have you in Vancouver for the masterclass and the 2 concerts, Friday, Saturday. So thank you very much. I wish you great travels and see you very soon here in Vancouver. Thank you.
See you very soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.